Hey guys, it's Glava Boopin here, back with another deck profile. Today we're going to be doing a fiendsmith yubel deck profile today. Why? Because I had the deck and I got pretty lucky with just getting the fiendsmith cards. The deck is missing a couple cards, just mainly one extra engraver, but other than that, this is my profile for like the ratios I play and everything. So before the video starts, like, comment, subscribe, helps me out, makes me actually want to upload more than what I normally do. But without further ado, let's get into the profile. Starting off with just simple monsters. So it's supposed to be 3 engraver, but I only currently have 2. He's the heart and soul of the deck. Lets you search out tracked, and then you can do combos, and it's just really good. You can also shuffle 1 Light Fiend to resummon himself, so more on the field, just more presence and more extenders. I also play the 1 Lurie, just it's for tracked and only for tracked. Or if you can find a way to discard it for just as long as the card says discard a card, you can get rid of Lurie and then bring him right back because of his effect. But pretty much that's the monster package for Fiendsmith. Next, onto like mostly the yubel package, we got 2 Dark Beckoning Beast. Some people only play 1 plus Chaos Summoning Beast. I don't know why people play Chaos Summoning Beast. If you really need a searcher for Beckoning Beast, just up Beckoning Beast to 2, or you could do 3 if you really want. There's no reason to play Chaos because Chaos is such a dead card. It actually does nothing for the deck because you are not playing any cards that is mentioned in its effect. So at this point, if you need another searcher for Beckoning Beast, well, not Beckoning Beast, but the continuous spell, just play a second Beckoning Beast. You can use it as discard fodder. You can also get it back. Like, there really is no reason to play Chaos over a second copy of Beast. Now on to the main ones. 3 Samsara. Literally, one of your 1 card starters in the deck. You have a decent amount. Some cards become 1 card starters depending on your hand. But this card is literally one of your 1 card starters in the deck. Just really good. You tribute itself for cost to summon out a spirit from deck, and then you just pop off there. Then end phase, if you have a yubel on field, it comes back, and it's not a negate, but you tribute it to switch a effect, like your opponent's monster effect on field to it becomes destroy 1 yubel on field. So it's honestly better than a negate because they resolve the effect, but they don't resolve the original effect. So it's pretty useful in that regard. And then on to more of the one-ofs. Just these 2. I was playing 2 of regular yubel, but the amount of times that she can easily bring, I can easily bring her back. Same with this guy. Like, I don't want to see really these in my opening hand, because there are better cards to see. But yeah, those are essentially the other 1 of yubel monsters. And then I play 3 Spirit. Some people only play 2. I personally just like 3 because drawing it is fine, especially depending on the hand you have. But having an extra copy of it does help in the grind game because this deck, a lot of times, especially with this meta, will be going to the grind game. And playing the mirror match for this deck is a pain. So you really want to you want to have stuff to go into the grind game, because once you lose the grind game with the mirror match, you are losing the game. More than likely, you'll just go to game 2 or game 3, or you lose the match. This is another card that a lot of people don't play at 3, which I'm really don't understand why. Is Grave Squirmer. This is the other card that can become a 1-card combo in hand. So if you open this plus Spirit and nothing else to really combo off until like later in the combo, essentially, you can normal this, link it off for a link 1 like Almirage or Relinquished Anima, and then banish this to summon Spirit from hand, and then start doing your combos. which is why I don't understand why people don't play 3 of this. This card is great to see in your hand, so you don't have to like search it off. You can also do some really funny things too, because you can also normal summon it, because the deck, if you don't open up Samsara or Beckoning Beast, you don't care about using your normal summon, unless, you know, you're trying to do Samsara later in the turn. But like, sometimes you don't really need to do Samsara later in the turn because it's not worth it, so you can just add it to hand for follow-up later if they break your board but don't kill you. But this guy is massive. He's such a great level 1. But I don't know why people play only 2. Then the one of, I'm playing a super small and chain package. Like Squirmer, Dog can also sometimes treat it as a 1-card combo. It's very rare that it happens, but both those cards, both Red Dog and Squirmer, they can, like, if your opponent imperms a Spirit or tries to Veiler it, you can chain both quick effects, because they're literally both quick effects, to summon and pop. It's all in one effect. Squirmer's an optional, Shavara's a must, so you can choose to not pop with Squirmer, but if you're trying to dodge those negates, it's better to do that. But they both help in that situation. And then Red Dog can search out a Unchained Trap that you play in the deck. Then on the hand traps, I play 3 Ash and 3 Droll. Just very simple monster hand traps. Droll's kind of huge this format. Molchummy is kind of, well, Molcharmy, call it Molchummy because why not, is kind of huge, especially against this deck because you do summon a lot from your hand, or a good amount of times. So, I mean, if you have to Droll yourself on your own turn, do it, but, you know, just be careful about that. Also for just like the other decks too, Droll does hurt, and Ash is just the normal staple hand trap that's played. Now onto the spells. The only fiendsmith spell I play at 1 is Track. That's part of the combo, which helps you get into your fiendsmith cards for extra deck. It's a 1 of. You can play 2. Some people have. I just only really recommend it at 1 because you don't want to draw more than 1, because then it becomes a dead card in hand. Even sometimes you don't really want to see it in hand either, because if you have Engraver, there's no point. Then the yubel spells that also are essentially 1-card combos, or almost. The field spell is, and then Nightmare Pain. That's the other thing. People run 1 Nightmare Pain. This card's way too good to be running at 1. You aren't getting it back if it gets destroyed. So it is better to run it more optimally at 3, because sometimes, like, if you open both these up, you're chilling. There are times that you will open both those up, and, you know, it's insane. Field spell, again, is a 1-card combo. You just search a card, and then, well, you activate the field spell, and it basically lets you, oh, I can either add to hand or destroy it. So it gets around Droll and Lockbird pretty easily there, because you can start loading up your grave. And also if one of your monsters is destroyed on field by, or just sent to the grave in general, you can summon 1 level higher than what that was, ignoring its summoning condition. So if I destroy Spirit, I can go Spirit 1, Field Spell 2. Field Spell will summon out Terror, and Spirit will summon out regular Yubel. So pretty huge. And then the continuous spell gets me to destroy a dark, add a Yubel or anything that mentions it. Unfortunately, you can't search the field spell with Pain, even though it mentions Yubel in quotation marks. The fact that it follows it up with monster or monsters after that is the reason why, basically, at that point. But you can Nightmare Pain into another Nightmare Pain, or or just follow up, or even the Trap Eternal Favorite. Next is just these. I don't play 3. I like playing 2 because you can easily get, so you can discard 1 off the other to do combos, and then not only that, you can easily get this back off of its own effect, so you keep reloading your hand with like a really important continuous spell. that just keeps letting you revive everything. So it is a pretty huge spell. And then we're playing 4 1-ofs in the deck for spells. Terraforming for a field spell. Duster just for back row removal. Called by. And 1-for-1. Self-explanatory cards. The 1-for-1 can help you load up your grave and get you out Samsara. So really helpful. I'm not playing Cross Out because I don't play enough mirror hand traps for this deck. I mean, I played the 2 basic ones, Ash and Imperm, but those 2 usually don't do enough to stop the deck, so I don't really care about Plus Cross Out isn't really fun to play. And speak of the devil, onto traps, I play 3 Imperm, just the other hand trap staple, self-explanatory. And then the last one is for traps, I play Eternal Favorite and Prison or Chamber. I want to play the other one because the other trap is better. I just can't find it, but because this is the Monster Reborn from Grave, the other one lets you target 1 Unchained monster on the field and 1 of your opponent's cards and destroy them, which in response you can chain Rage to link off, and you'll still get the pop from the other trap because the target is the cost. So one or the other doesn't have to be on field at resolution. So, but yeah, that's the main deck for now. Onto the extra deck, I play 1 Requiem, 1 Closed Moon, and 1 Sequentia. For the 1-ofs, if I don't open up any way to get in the Requiem, I just make Closed Moon and then go into Requiem and then do my combo. Sometimes it's not worth doing that depending on your hand, because you'll actually lose resources and you'll overextend sometimes. So hard making Closed Moon sometimes isn't the best option unless you can do it. Otherwise, it's better just to do regular yubel combo, which is still powerful. Excuse me. Then on to the Unchained package. I play 2 Yama, 1 Rage. I'm thinking of cutting Yama down to 1, as I think 1 Yama is just is completely fine in my opinion. So I can have like extra space for like other stuff, but Yama's a great link for the package because it's what gets you in the red dog, and then if she's in the grave and anything gets destroyed by Valor card effect, you can bring back Fiends and everything. Rage is just the card I mentioned that you can link off and into like an SP or anything. Like, you don't need to play IP in this deck, or because it's not really needed, because the thing is with Yama, she's a generic Fiend. Like, it just takes 2 Fiend monsters to make her, and then you can get in your red dog and then summon your red dog and immediately go into Rage, or if they stop the Yama, you can link again and go into Rage, because you have 1 Unchained monster needed for Rage anyway. So you can always make Rage easily. And then the last links, I play 1 SP and 1 Apo. Apo's more huge now because the fiendsmith, you can either go into a rank 6, or you can go into Desiree, or you can go into Apo, so you have 3 avenues you can approach depending on the deck you're going against, which I really like the utility that fiendsmith brings to a bunch of decks and everything. SP is just the regular link 2 you can play that you use Rage to go into. For more budget-friendly options, instead of SP, you can do Nightmare Unicorn. You can do Anguish if you really want to, because an Anguish gets you another link off. And you can go into like Abomination. That's the other thing too. You don't have to play Apo. You can get rid of these 2 and go into like Anguish and Abomination if you really want to do more disruptions. But I found the most success with these, especially with like the Fiendsmith package. This really isn't a budget-friendly deck, because the Fiendsmith engine, I mean, outside of Engraver, the engine is cheap. But Engraver itself is not. And for this deck to work, you need at least 2 engraver. 3 is the optimal, 2 is not, but if you can afford the deck, I would say go for it. It is a very fun deck if you like yubel and everything, but budget-wise, it's not the most friendly, but there are points where you can not have to play things like SP and everything, and it does make a difference, but playing SP also helps a lot. Onto the XZs, though. 1 Caesar and 1 Baru. Caesar is just, for making an early 6, or if you can do 6 plus other things. And then Varu is just there because, again, you're playing 10s, so another Omni Negate rank 10 is pretty fun and pretty good. He's just an overall great card. And Caesar, for those who don't know, is a non-once per turn summon negate. So to the people who think he's a once per turn, nope. And then on to the fusions. 1 Necroquip, 1 Lacrimosa, 1 Desiree, and then 2 Phantoms. You don't have to play 2. I like 2 for the grind game specifically because this deck does do great in the grind game. It outgrinds a lot of decks, in my opinion, that can break my boards but can't kill me, but I can just keep resetting up my boards, and they don't have a response to that normally, so it helps. Necroquip is just part of the combo to help you make an early 6. If you don't want to, then you can go into Lacrimosa, bring back, and do you can make an early Apo or a later Apo, and then if you have Tract in the grave, you can banish Tract to you can banish Tract, or if you haven't used Sequentia, you can immediately make a Desiree, which usually you use Tract to make. You would banish the Tract to make the Lacrimosa, summon back, and then summon back, and then depending on your field, make an early Apo, and then Sequentia, make Desiree, and then Sequentia, equip on the Desiree. So then Desiree is a funny negate, which I thought it was per link equipped to it. No, it can negate cards up to the equipped link rating of the link monster. So you'll have 2 negates. You can negate 2 cards on field with Desiree. And then Phantom, just contact fuse into it, and it's a monster negate by attributing itself for cost, which it can be called by, just be very much aware. But it just becomes destroy 1 yubel from hand, field, or deck, which even as a small engine in something else, in another deck, you will have yubels back in your deck because you shuffled them back, so her negate's always live. And you can also do this really on in yubel. Pretty easy to do, but and then I have my side deck. It's more personal preference, but this is what I found works the best when going into games 2 or 3. You got 3 Nibs, 3 Mourner, 3, this is a shocker for some people, 3 Phantasme. The funny interaction I found with him is on Requiem Summon, you can go effect a Phantasme to summon. And if they do it, or if they don't know this interaction, they chain Requiem to tribute. You're still going to summon Phantasme and draw, but you don't shuffle back because they don't have the link on field anymore. So you can immediately get that draw off and keep it without having to shuffle back. So it's a little funny interaction. Plus, this gives you more resources on the board, plus a target protection on your turn. So you can kind of do something funny. Econ, just for the Tenpai matchup. I'm not scared with this deck. I'm not scared about Tenpai because they may play a million hand traps, but the times that they play the correct, they get the correct hand trap, I don't really care. So usually just 2 negates shuts them off. And then 3 evenly, especially if I'm going second, just another removal. which really helps with the deck. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the profile. It's a very self-explanatory deck. Not much else is, like, you don't really need much else for the deck. I will say, like I've said before, this deck is not budget friendly. The field spells are expensive. That's the only, and then engravers are expensive. Field spells are sitting about like 40, 50 if you use TCG, which is what I do. Engravers sitting over 100. Phantoms are sitting in the 40s. And then extra deck wise, like depending on what you pick up, it can also be more expensive. But those are like those are the key expensive cards. With this deck, you will be probably spending about $400 minimal, unless you wait for the tin reprints, because there are a couple cards in the tins that are getting reprinted, mainly just SP, which then becomes more budget friendly for people. But this deck nothing in this deck so far is getting reprinted, as I know, for now. But if you have the funds, pick it up. I do highly recommend the deck. It is super fun. Yubel's finally, in the spotlight as a good deck. But I would recommend maybe waiting till the end, when the ban list comes out late August, before picking it up, because they might touch Yubel. They're hopefully not going to touch Fiendsmith, but we don't know either. They might touch this deck, so it's like, we don't have to deal with another issue like what we've been dealing with Snake Eyes, where people are just playing the heck out of this deck now because it's basically the next optimal deck in line, and it just becomes annoying, even though Yubel has way more choke points to hit than Snake Eye, and they actually are more meaningful. But otherwise, if you guys have any more questions, leave a comment. I'll try to get to them as fast as I can. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Peace.